in the language,
Mhm.
the I think also I forgot what it's called, but I remember it like
Okay, let me help you. We have the content and the language. Okay, so two vital elements should be provided in your piece of writing: the content and the language. Let's focus or have a quick look on what content is. What content is, I mean, based on the question, look at this question, for example, here. Some people think we rely too much on eating convenience food nowadays. Write an article for your school newspaper giving your views. This is the question. This is the occasional question in the exam. Okay. If the question is an article. So in your content, in your essay, in your article, what elements of content exactly should be provided?
like something about the idea itself. Yani, for example, if it's talking about fast food, then we should provide
Mm,
information about fast food, right?
okay, so as you say, one of the content element is ideas. Okay, ideas. Let me name it as development of ideas. Okay, you should be accurate, Yanur, because accuracy gives you the marks, and inaccuracy make you lose marks. You penalized if there is no accuracy. Okay, so here the development of ideas are one of the elements of the content. What I mean by development of ideas, development of ideas means you should provide the ideas in a developed way. Developed way means you are not a child to write a childish piece of writing. So your piece of writing should be developed. And development of ideas also means the support, the way you support your ideas. Okay, using examples, using evidence, using words of experts, using quotations, using reasons, whatever the way of support is related directly to the development of ideas. Okay? So the way you support your ideas is a development of ideas. Is it clear?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. Number two, in the development, sorry, in the content, your content should include the elements we are naming now, is to take a great care of the audience and the purpose. Okay, audience and purpose. Pay great attention to these two elements, purpose and audience. What we mean by audience, and is the audience different from piece of writing to another, or audience is always the same?
The audience are usually different. They differ from one piece of writing to another because, for example, if we're talking about, for example, baking, the targeted audience are going to probably be women or maybe girls who are interested in baking.
Yes.
But if we're talking about like cars, or if we have a piece of writing about cars, then our target audience are gonna like
Great.
be men or boys.
Exactly, Anur. Good job. Thank you. The audience, Anur, states the audience, the targeted audience, states two main elements. Number one, what is their interest? As you said, if somebody is interested in technology and you're writing on smartphones, so the audience or the targeted audience is the one who is interested in mobile phones and smartphones, or even in technology in general. Okay, the knowledge of the interest of the reader is very necessary because it makes you decide exactly what should you provide of information, what knowledge you should give or deliver to the reader. Number two, the knowledge of the audience is very necessary as well because it decides the way of language you use. The language, Noor, is used with children is different from those of teens, is different from those of adults, and so on and so forth. So it decides also the language. Maybe I use difficult language for the adults, but I should use mild language for the teens. And may I use simple language for the children or the kids. So it decides exactly the language I use and the knowledge of the interests of the reader. This the audience. It's very necessary to decide also who is your audience before you write. So here, he said in the question, write an article for your school newspaper. It means who is my audience?
The students.
Students, but not exactly all the students because the school includes other staffs, your teachers, the administration department, and also visitors and parents, because parents also sometimes read what is written on the newspaper of the school. So the audience is not only the students. For this reason, exactly, what level of language should we use? I'm
Mild.
talking exactly about the register, the formality of your writing. Okay, should it be formal, informal, or in between, neutral language, semi-formal? What do you think?
I think it should be semi-formal, like
Yes,
in between formal and informal.
yes, exactly. It should be semi-formal. Why semi-formal? Because the reader here is not students, because if it's only students, it will be what? It will be informal, right? Because they are my classmates and other students the same of my age and the same knowledge as mine, so it should be informal. But because of other readers that we, as we named, maybe teachers, okay, so the piece of writing should be what you know here, semi-formal. This is the
Yeah.
content, okay. The last
Okay.
point of content, giving your views, deciding the purpose. What is the purpose? The purpose is why I'm writing my article. Okay, why I'm writing this review. What purpose exactly? Mm, Honestly, we have different purposes to deliver to the reader. What purposes, you know?
It could be to like for example, what is the article about?
What? Sorry,
Oh, what is the article about?
the article here. You
Yeah,
don't see
right.
the screen?
Yeah, for a school paper giving views. Okay.
Get
So
views. Yes.
yeah, it's just maybe the purpose is to show maybe your opinion to
Uh-huh.
other people.
Yes, maybe it's argument. You see?
Yeah.
So we can even the he said where is the prompt? Yes, giving your views here, giving your views. So it sound to be my opinion. So it is an opinion writing. So I should do what with my opinion? Why I'm writing my opinion? For which purpose?
Writing your opinion maybe to like contribute in the social. I don't know really, but like I think.
Okay, look, imagine that you want to spend your vacation in Hurghada, okay? And I tried to tell you my opinion about spending it in Sharm el-Sheikh, not in Hurghada, and started to provide you with some evidence, some reasons for why I chose exactly Sharm el-Sheikh rather than Hurghada. Why I do that? Why I'm telling you my evidence, my proofs, and even my suggestions and reasons.
Oh, to convince me.
Yes, perfect. Here is the issue. So the main purpose for this is to persuade the reader. You got the point? So I'm writing here to persuade. For this reason, while I'm writing to persuade, I should use the persuasive techniques. If I want to argue, so I should use the argumentative techniques. If I want to inform the reader, so I should use the informative techniques. You understand what I mean? So each piece of writing, each section, each purpose has its main techniques that decides exactly what sort of language you should use. Okay, so again, to sum what we explained, again, the content of your writing should include these elements. Number one, the purpose of your writing, why you write. Take a great consideration for who is your audience. Number three, and it is the most necessary point for the content, is your writing accomplished the task or not? Is your piece of writing fulfilled successfully or not? Okay, fulfilled. What I mean that based on the prompt, based on the question, you should provide your writing. I mean here, giving your views, you decided that your piece of writing should be persuasive or opinion article, okay? So you should accomplish, sorry, accomplish is misspelled, accomplished, okay? If you accomplished the task exactly and successfully or not, or you missed, or it lacks some elements, okay? How should I know? How do I know that I already accomplished the task, I fulfilled the task, or I didn't achieve the task successfully? Look here at this part, write an email to a friend about the problem. There is a problem with what you bought online. You bought an item online, any device, and once you received this item, you discovered, you found it out that there is a problem with this item. Okay, now you're writing an email, and the audience is my friend. Okay, then the purpose here is different. How should I evaluate your achievement of the task? Number one here, there is explain why you bought the item. Describe the problem with the item. Say what you're gonna do about it. Okay, so to decide that you achieved the task or fulfilled the task successfully, you should cover the rubrics. What are the rubrics? Rubrics means what is mentioned in the question. So you should understand the question very accurately, very concisely. Then cover everything mentioned in the question. If you missed any part of the question, it means you missed a part of the fulfillment of the task. So your content will lose some marks. I mean, if you wrote only about explaining why you bought the item and describing the problem with that, and left the last rubric or the last bullet point here, it means you will lose marks about the last item. So you should cover everything in the question. You should cover the bullet point number one and the bullet point number two, and also the third bullet point. So you should cover everything in the question. Okay, never leave any part of the question without achieving it or covering it equally. Okay, so even in covering these points, you should be balanced. I mean, even in the length of paragraphs, the information mentioned or provided in each paragraph. Okay, you understand what we mean here by covering everything in the question?
Yes.
Okay, so the content again and again. Finally, includes what? Includes your audience, okay? Includes the register. As we mentioned, if you use formal, informal, or even semi-formal, and you should focus on the purpose why you write, because each purpose includes different techniques. Last is covering everything in the question. You find the covering the points of the question clearly and more specifically in the summary writing question. You know that in the summary writing question, you're required to find 8 points from the text, right? If you found only 6 points, for instance, so can we say that you covered the points of the question?
No,
No. What? How many marks you would lose here?
2,
Hmm?
2 marks,
Sorry,
2 points.
I can't hear you.
Am I gonna lose 2 points if I only mention 6 from the
Yes.
8?
Yes. So here, the examiner will penalize you of conducting 2 points for the content because you didn't provide or cover the question successfully. And also the same is evaluated in the email writing and in the article writing. I hope this part is clear.
Yeah, thank you. It is clear.
Great. Let's jump to the second part of the assessment of my writing. Give me just a moment to find the second file. I don't know where it is. Yes, the language, as we mentioned earlier, we said that I'm evaluated based on my language. What we mean by language, Anwar? I mean, what should I provide in my language? Is it the difficulty of the language is meant here, or what we mean by the language?
It could be like there could be 2 choices, okay? So, the first thing, language could be like they could mean that, for example, language by the way of talking, for example, if the language should be simple or complicated, right? Either simple or complicated. The second thing is that for the language, like, I mean, maybe the use of grammar,
Correct.
like, for example, or maybe not language, I mean, like dialects. Like, for example, we could use maybe British English or American English.
Um, no, language, when you write an article, for instance, if you wrote an article, how should I decide that your language here is correct, suitable, convenient, or irrelevant?
According
Okay.
to the audience, right? When we choose either mild, semi-mild, or I mean semi-formal or formal.
Yes, we agreed that the formality of the language, which we name as register or the level of language, is a part of the content. So it's already evaluated in the content. You should write the language that is matchable to the content. So language and content are unified. They're not separated, as you will see now. What we mean by the language, exactly is the accuracy. Okay, your language should be accurate in every area. And what we mean by accurate or accuracy in writing.
Maybe like
Here are
being
the
more precise, right?
look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at these 4 points, they are very necessary to understand because your piece of writing will be evaluated based on these points. Number one, um, points are well organized. He didn't say, by the way, well organized, but he said what? Very well
Very
organized.
organized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it means it's not only well organized, it's not only organized, and not only well organized, but very well organized. So it should be perfect, okay? And coherent. Coherent means that you use the cohesive devices effectively. You know what is cohesive devices, right?
I have a question.
Sure.
So now for the meaning of language, like in the writing, do
Sorry?
they mean for language, the meaning of language, they evaluate according to the language, صح?
Yes, but no, no. If you mean according to the language, if it's British or American, so the answer is no.
No, no, no. I mean like for example, mild or
Sure,
formal
sure,
or
the level of language, we agreed in this point and we ended it.
yeah. So that means that what about the grammar?
Yes,
Is
it's
it
coming the
considered
point of the
as
grammar
language?
here. Yes, sure,
Okay.
it's a piece of language.
Oh yeah.
Vocabulary, grammar, and structure is a piece of language. Okay, so number one in the language part, you should write very well organized piece, and cohesive devices should be used. I asked you if you know the cohesive devices. You know?
Yeah, like for example, maybe I'm not sure, but like, do you mean and, but, or these
Yes,
kind of
yes,
words?
exactly. The conjunctions.
Yeah, the use of conjunction.
Yes, conjunctions or linking words. We name them as conjunctions or linking words. Okay, and even very important, the transitional phrases. Well, no, each term means what? So using, as you said, and but so, moreover, although, if, unless, until, as soon as, no sooner, hardly, scarcely, and so on. The transitional words are similar to say to start with, to begin with, firstly. On the other hand, one thing to begin with, some people argue that that's what we mean as transitional phrases. Okay, so
Yeah,
using these expressions help your piece of writing to sound coherent. So coherent as if it's one unit. The piece of writing flows as a river, as water from the river. Okay, so they are not separated, sentence, full stop, sentence, full stop, and so on. But linking ideas together also is a piece of language. Number two, very good use of own words. Using your own words is very necessary. So never copy from the question. Never copy except in the reading. Now I'm talking about writing. Okay? Never copy either from the question or from the text, the summary writing I mean.
yeah,
Okay? You should use what?
my
Very
own words.
good use of own words. Okay. Number three, high level of accuracy of vocabulary and grammar. So you should be accurate in using vocabulary. You should be accurate in using correct and relevant grammar. If you're writing about review, you should write in present tense, not in past tense. Using past tense in the reviews is irrelevant, and this is grammatical structures. You should use correct structures. For example, if you said if they come on time, we would have met them. This structure is completely incorrect, okay? Because if should be followed by different or various structures. One of them, if you used present in the first part, like this part, you shouldn't use would have met here, but you must say what? Well, meet. This is the correct structure. So the second structure is correct, while the first one is incorrect. Okay, this what we mean, by grammatical structures. Your grammar should be accurate. Then structures also means what? Sentence length. sentence length is very important. Not always you can use short sentence, or even always use complicated and long sentence, but you should use variety of both. Why variety of both? Because using simple language or simple sentence is suitable in letters, okay? While using complex sentence is relevant with other formal types of writing, like the review, descriptive writing, stories, or even articles. Okay, so you should mix the lengths of sentence. The last thing is use the correct punctuation. You should give it great consideration to use punctuation, because it's also one part of your language evaluation. So to summarize what we said about the language section is accuracy in general. Number one, organization of the writing, using cohesive devices, the excellent use of own words, the use of vocabulary and grammar structures, the variety of sentence length. Last is the correct punctuation. Is that clear?
Yes, very clear.
Yeah, so now you understand exactly what we mean by language, not what you mentioned.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, okay.
great. Yes, great. Let's study exactly the accuracy in your writing, the most important point of any candidate's writing. Look here, um, organization of ideas is clear. To organize or to arrange your ideas. So there is no way to waste time in organization ideas. Okay. The accuracy of vocabulary and number one, the first advice of the accuracy of vocabulary is don't spam using and everywhere. We mean the use of and as a connective. Even when I asked you, you answered by you mean by using and, but, and so. So you used these symbol connectives, and that is not recommended. Okay, you should use
Okay.
different ways of linking your ideas. Ignore and forget using the word and. If you wrote a letter or a review or a report, try hard not to use the word and, except where it is necessary. Let's see three different ways, Yanur, to leave out the use of the word and. Look here, we have three different ways. Number one, using linking words, other linking words. Number two, using the subordinators. Number three is using relative pronouns. This is a way to show accuracy in your language. Let's see the first example. Read, Yanur.
Okay. Jonathan rode the airplane and at the moment he
No,
felt
sorry. Sorry, here, sister.
I enjoyed the party and had a lot of fun. Not only did I
Yes,
enjoy the party, but I also had a lot of fun.
exactly. So here he left out the word and, but he substituted it by using different linking word, like not only but also. It's a developed and accurate linking word rather than using and. Other ways to use linking words similar to and is to say, for example, moreover, or to say furthermore, to say additionally, or in addition to that, okay, or even in addition. So we have different ways to substitute the word and. So we agreed now, leave out the word and use number one, other linking words. Number two, using the subordinators. What we mean by subordinators,
Um, mm, Subordinators?
subordinator. Subordinators are linking words as well, but
Oh,
they are the linking words that connect sentence rather than the fanboys. You know what are the fanboys, right?
yeah, for and nor.
For, sorry, for and, but, so, or, nor, yet. Okay, these are the fanboys. Other linking words, are called
Oh,
subordinators.
like
Okay,
although and by the way, I think.
yes. So if we said, for instance, after, before, when, while, if, whereas, until, all linking words, one L, not double. Okay,
Okay.
so they are what? Subordinators. Look at this example here. Read number 2.
Sarah is an intelligent girl and she is able to think creatively.
Great.
Sarah, who is
No,
an intelligent
no, no,
girl.
no, no. It's number 2, I left the shop.
Oh, I left the shop and then I returned back home. After leaving the shop, I returned back home.
Great. So he used here some other linking words. He used the subordinator after rather than using the word and. The blue sentence are developed sentence. They are more accurate rather than saying and. Okay. The third method or technique to forget about using and is to use relative pronouns. Okay. Relative pronouns, are, what are the relatives? Like who, whom, whose, which, that. Okay. These are what excuse me, relative pronouns. Okay. Here he said Sarah is an intelligent girl and she's able to think creatively. So he left out with the word and he used Sarah, who is an intelligent girl, is able to think creatively. Rather than saying and, we used relative pronouns. So how many ways do we have to substitute the word and? 3 methods: using other linking words, using subordinators, last using relative pronouns. Clear?
I'm really sorry. I said clear, but my microphone was muted, so thank you. Yeah, it's clear.
Never mentioned. Okay. Apply. Now we need to apply in these 4 clauses. We need to link them rather than saying and, ignore and here's and the final sentence is and apply using these 3 rules on these 4 sentences. Send your answer in the chat box, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Noor?
Yeah, I'm gonna write it on the chat
Okay,
box.
we'll give you 3 minutes to finish.
Okay.
So now it's 6:15. You should come back at 6:18.
I'm done.
Okay, Noor. Number one, Jonathan felt nervous the moment he rode the airplane. Okay. Two, his daughter, who was clever, scores a good grades. Okay. Yeah, Noor. Before who and
Oh
after
yeah,
clever, you
right?
should use two commas.
Yeah. I also forgot to capitalize the H in his.
Yes. And also the way, as I told you, before who and after clever, you should
Okay.
use these two commas. Okay.
Yeah.
Number three, I hate doing my homework, but my mother forced me to do it. Before but, you should use a comma,
Okay. I'm
okay?
writing it again.
Yeah, but number three can be corrected, can be better rather than using but. Think about different way. Number four, the new house James bought is very nice. Okay. Number four and number three. Three can be modified,
Okay.
Yes, correct. Number two. For three, here you said my mother forced me to do the homework and I hate doing it. Okay. You can say although, although. You see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I hate doing my homework, comma, my mom forced, is it forced or forced? Forced. So it should be forced me to do it. Now we know we used although. By the way, although with the same meaning as but it's a developed way to say yes. Although I hate doing my homework, my mother forced me to do it. Correct. Now is fine. So these are the three different ways to fix my error of using the word and. Number two, using a strong and effective and clear vocabulary. Forget about using the simple words in your writing. What we mean by simple words, repetition. Simple words like good, nice, bad, big, that we name as childish words. Okay? You should use more mature words, more accurate words. So there are various alternatives. Rather than saying good and nice, okay, we can say great, awesome, fantastic, fabulous, ravishing, beautiful, majestic, eye-catching, and other alternatives. Terrific, splendid, superb. Okay, so also forget about using the word good. It's a good view. It's a good beach. It's a nice day. Forget about using these words because they are very vague. They are general words. We need accurate words. Accuracy. Don't forget that we're talking about accuracy. Number two, bad. Oh, terrible. Don't use bad, but use other alternatives like dreadful, awful, appalling, terrible, horrible, and other words. Rather than saying big, we can say what? We can say huge, enormous, gigantic, large, and massive. Okay? The same we need to apply here. We need to find the more accurate alternatives of these descriptive words. Good is already done. Wonderful, incredible, delightful. So when you write Yanur, don't say something is good. Never say that.
Yeah.
Rather than saying bad, we can use one of the three. What about fun, Yanur? What
I'm
other alternatives we can use instead of fun?
using
Amusing. It can. Yes, it works. What else?
enjoyable.
Enjoyable as well. We can say something is enjoyable. or something is, what is the first word?
Amusing,
Yes, I'm using. Yes. What else?
entertain,
Enjoyable. Yes.
entertaining,
Uh,
entertaining,
enjoyable, entertaining. Okay. What if we mean fun, which is the noun? Fun, something is fun. I mean, I enjoy doing it. So it's like delight. We can say something includes jubilation. It's a very good way to use it. Jubilation means fun and delight, happiness, rather than saying happy, by the way. Rejoice. It's a very strong way. It's a perfect way to use pleasure or even cheer. A lot of alternatives that you can use instead of saying fun. Big is already done here because we said enormous, gigantic, large, and massive. What about small?
small, maybe little,
We can say tiny with
tiny,
Y, sorry. Tiny.
or minor,
What?
minor,
Sorry?
minor.
Thinner? You mean thin, you mean?
No, minor. I'm gonna write the word in the chat.
Okay. Minor?
Yeah.
Yes, minor. Okay. But minor, ya Noor, sorry. Minor is not accurate, is similar in meaning to small. Minor is close in meaning to something is not necessary. Okay. I mean the opposite of major. So it's not accurate. We can say something is small, so it's tiny. We can say something is minute.
Yeah. Could we
Minute is
say bijou?
also what?
Could we say bijou?
What is the word? Bijou.
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Yanur.
Can we write bijou, for example?
But bijou is not small.
It is. Like, for example, bijou residence or like something small and yeah, something tiny or something elegant, something like that.
Yes, it's elegant, smart, neat, stylish.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because the word small here, Yanur, the word small here, the connotation of the word means that something is not big. Okay. But the
Yeah.
use of bijou is small as neat and stylish, not small as not respected. Understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's positive connotation. The one you use is positive, while using small here refers to negative. Even like to say, how much do you have? A small amount. Small amount means what? Elegant or contempted and very tiny. Very tiny, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Also, we can use the word diminutive.
Can we say, for example, compact? Compact.
What you know?
Compact.
Bat.
Compact.
Compact. Yes, it can be. As long as compact is like compressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a compact car, for instance. Okay. What I mean here, Yanur, is what? To focus on what? To use accurate word, not general words. General or vague. We need clarity in using the language. Okay.
Yes.
So using these words give a perfect reference to the reader about your writing rather than they something is big. It's very general. What you mean by big and to which degree it is big. Something is fun. To which degree it's fun. By saying entertaining is better than saying fun. That's what I mean by using accurate vocabulary, very clear words. Use here, look, stronger synonyms. Okay,
Yes.
okay, great. The last thing, oh, using descriptive language. So rather saying very simply that the road is dark, for example, or the house is empty, we can share the same idea by using the descriptive language. Descriptive language, Anur, draws a mental image in the reader's mind. So let's read the first example, for instance, by saying the soldiers crossed the river. Oh, I didn't get more details about the soldiers, even about the river. Okay,
Yeah.
but look here. If I said, look at the last sentence, it's very strong, it's very clear. It gave me variety of information and knowledge about both soldiers and the river. Look at this example. The tired soldiers slowly crossed the dangerous river in the dark. Which sentence is informative? Number one, or A, or the last sentence, which is example B?
Example B is more accurate and precise.
Exactly, this what we need. Don't write general information. Always while you write, expect that you are the reader. If you read this example, will you ask about more details, about more information? If the answer is yes, so surely you should provide the same exact details to the reader rather than saying the soldiers. Maybe the reader want to know more about what the soldier. Soldier should be, or maybe tired, maybe exhausted, and maybe even jubilant, maybe in a fun. Maybe he's not in a war, so he is comfortable, right? So the soldiers slowly crossed the river. What about the river? I need to know more about it. Is it a safe place, a secure, or is it a dangerous atmosphere? So he said, dangerous river. And he gave me more detail about describing the atmosphere, the surrounding, by saying in the dark. Even the word in the dark, it gave me more detail and it made me understand better about the whole atmosphere in the city or in the circumstances in which the soldiers crossed the river. So rather saying the soldiers crossed the river, I gave more detail about the soldiers, more details about the river, and more details about the surroundings or the atmosphere. Okay, so being more accurate about using the descriptive words by using more adjectives and more descriptions. Okay, Anur, I hope this part is as well clear.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
what if we need to apply this part? It's the last section, inshallah. Number 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to use or to make them more clearer than these. Nice gift, very general. The dark forest, very general. The big factory, the good dessert. We need to use the descriptive language that we use now,
Yes.
okay, to make these 4 phrases more or clearer. By doing what? By using descriptive language as we did.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'm waiting you. You have also 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 minutes.
Okay. Like, do I make a sentence from my mind, make up a sentence and add these words and make them more descriptive?
Yes, more descriptive. You don't need to write full sentence.
Yeah, so it's a full sentence with these words, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
No, sorry, it seems that you got confused.
oh,
You need
yeah.
to make these phrases clearer. I mean, the descriptive language should be used for these words. I mean, instead of saying nice gift, so you should use a more descriptive word rather than say
Oh,
nice. You can
yeah,
say
yeah.
marvelous gift.
I'm sorry. I thought we should write like a sentence and then like clarify it more.
No, no, no. Okay, so rather than writing, say them orally. So instead of saying a nice gift, what we can say instead of a
Um,
nice gift?
a magical gift.
What?
A magical gift.
Perfect. If you said magical is very good. So the magical gift, the dark forest. Dark is very general way, you know.
Yeah. Can we say maybe dim?
Yes, dim and gloomy are more accurate. The big factory.
A large factory?
Yes.
Or maybe
What if what if you used a better word?
yeah, yeah. The maybe the can I say huge?
Yes, you have massive.
Massive,
A
yeah.
very good way. Yes, you have colossal. It's very good word also. Like gigantic. Try not to forget some of these words and try to use them regularly. The good dessert
The good dessert.
uh,
Um
should be what?
sweet we could say the
What?
we could say no,
Mm,
no, let me think of a word.
yes, okay, take your time.
Um, the amazing.
Okay, amazing dessert. Even if you said delicious as related to food, to taste, delicious. You said
Yeah,
amazing, okay?
yeah.
But
Or
whatever.
or maybe
Yes, what?
can I say, for example, um, exquisite, or what is that word? I forgot what it's called. There was a nice word. Can I search it on Google?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, here it is. It's exquisite. 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 Let me write it. Can we write it, for example? Like in the writing, for example, if they tell me to write another word for it's like another word for yummy or nice tasting food. Can you hear me?
I'm really sorry, Anur, for the inconvenience.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Give me just some moments, then can get you back.
Yeah, of course, take your time.
Okay, I'm back in.
Mister, can you hear me?
Yes. We stopped until I shared my screen. We stopped at using the word delicious or tasteful. What is the word?
Yeah, it was exquisite.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. So there are a variety of accurate words, rather being vague. So don't be vague. Try always to make your writing clear to the reader. So using accurate words, accurate expression, descriptive language, and strong vocabulary. Last is using variety of sentence length. You remember what we said about variety of sentence length?
Yeah, like putting details into the sentence to make it more clear.
Sorry again.
Making the sentence more clear by using like more descriptive words.
This is about what?
Like the sentence with the river and
Sorry, I don't understand you.
like using words other than the basic words. For
This
example,
is about.
instead of
This is for the accurate words, right?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I asked a different question. I said, my question is, one of the language section that you will be evaluated on also is using variety of sentence length. What we said by variety of sentence length?
Yeah, using linking words in the
No,
sentences.
no. Sentence length, length, look at this word, of long, okay?
Yeah,
Sentence length means different sentence length, like to use simple sentences, compound, and complex sentences. So you should use variety of these sentences, not always simple, not always compound, and not always complex. You should know exactly when to use simple sentence. For example, if you're writing a letter, you say what? Guess, or guess what, right?
yes.
Or even if you said you want, imagine. These expressions are what? Short sentences. We used these short sentences to create what? Tense, or tension, or even suspense, right? So we used words for purpose. We use the short sentences to create even tension, or to use or to create suspense. While we use the long sentence, always to be informative and explanatory. Because, or you can say, particularly, we use the long sentence when I use evidence to provide to the reader, or when I explain any information to the reader. So you should differentiate the use of the lengths of the sentence. Put in your mind, in this line, I'll use short sentences. In the explanatory part, I should use long and more complex sentences. This is what we mean, by variety of sentence length. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so you understand now exactly what we mean by variety of sentence length?
Yes, like by either making it long, for example, if we want to say how's it going or something like that, the different criterias to make it shorter or longer.
Yes,
This,
exactly. When I can use longer sentence and when I can use shorter sentence. But in mind, shorter sentence are relevant with letters, okay? And longer sentence are relevant in articles or reviews, reports, descriptive writing as well, okay? And the last thing is grammar and punctuation. We should use the correct grammar and the correct punctuation also. Do you need any question about what we explained today?
No, thank you. Today's lesson was very informative, nice. Even it was interesting. Like, thank you so much.
Okay, no worries, sister. I hope you understand what we already explained, and you get or add it to your knowledge how you will be evaluated in the exam. Wish to meet later, inshallah. Enjoy
Inshallah.
your day. Have nice dreams.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye. Have a good day.